Guess what? You're more than your feelings. You're more than your thoughts. You're more than your circumstances right now. Whatever you're experiencing, if it's not something that you truly desire, you're more than that. And there are tools for you to be able to go beyond your circumstances right here in the now. If you woke up feeling anxious and nervous and just not feeling grounded, well, guess what? There ain't nothing like grounding and doing a little bit of sunbathing. I just came out of a deep meditation, grounding, just really connecting with myself. And after just a handful of minutes, I feel incredible. Why don't you try it yourself? Are you willing to do the things that may seem like they're not gonna work? Do you just write things off? Do you just discount things because they seem hippy-dippy or too simple? When in reality, we're actually pretty simple beings. I think it's a false belief with this whole complexity. There is a part of us that can maybe appear to be complex, but I think in general terms, we're actually pretty simple. Our needs, right? The amount of emotions, right? You can only experience so many feelings. You can only have so many thoughts. And what most of us are usually dealing with is what? What kind of thoughts are you dealing with? Are you dealing with thoughts that like, man, I feel like the best version of myself today. I feel like I'm unstoppable. I feel like I'm invincible. I'm abundant. I'm bold. I'm courageous. I can face everything and rise. Right? Or are your thoughts more inclined to fear, to doubt, to uncertainty? Right? You're stuck looking in the past and you're afraid of the future. Right? That's depression and anxiety. And what it takes for you to get beyond both of those simultaneously is to be grounded in the present, in the now. That's all that we have. And you're not your thoughts, but your reality will reflect your thoughts. If your thoughts are continuously negative, doubtful, fearful, guess what your reality is gonna be filled with? More evidence, more uncertainty, more things to be afraid of. And yet, I woke up this morning feeling anxious. And there's a lot of things going on in my life. But what I need to realize is that I am not my thoughts. I am not my feelings. I am not even the current circumstances. I can truly transcend all of that by being grounded in the moment, realizing that I have the power, and so do you. You have the power inside of you to overcome, but you have to be courageous to face your fears, face the things that are weighing you down and deal with them, move through those things with more confidence, being bold and courageous, right? One of the courses on the Results Kill Excuses app is called I've Got 99 Problems and Positive Solutions for Everyone. Do you believe that there is a positive solution to each and every one of the problems that are weighing you down? I absolutely believe it with all my heart. And I absolutely believe that oftentimes we have these conflicting emotions. You have conflicting feelings going through you, right? You want to feel happy, you want to feel whole, you want to feel secure, you want to be loved, right? You want some more financial freedom. You want to feel like your life has more fulfillment and meaning in it. But then you're also just continuously recycling all of the guilt, all of the shame, all of the failures, all of the failed relationships, all of the guilt from your past, all those mistakes, all the times that someone told you you're not good enough. And I'm here to tell you, you are good enough. You are the best. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep drilling that in. You are the best right now. This is not just a fantasy. Fantasy is watching other people perform, whether athletically or dramatically or musically, watching other people perform, thinking that that's you, thinking you're getting the wins, thinking you're making the plays, thinking you won the championship, thinking you won the Grammy Award or the Oscar. You have to take your life into your own hands. And the biggest piece of that is facing your fears. What are you afraid of? And the truth is, we're afraid of a lot. There's a little child inside of you that is so afraid. And you need to create a dialogue with that inner child. The little boy, that little girl inside of you. Here's how it works for me. So there's three aspects to who we are. We have the inner child, the adult, and the parent. My child is Gregory, my adult is G-Dog, and my parent is Greg. Little Gregory experienced a hell of a lot of trauma, violence, neglect, abuse, all kinds of stuff. As a little kid, 0 to 10 years old, primarily that's when that is implanted. So inherently, little Gregory doesn't feel safe, feels insecure, has attachment wounds, has abandonment wounds. What is your little inner child? What did that little inner child experience? Because that is playing itself out right now. Your biggest fears, the things holding you back, it's literally all rooted in what is your inner child feeling. It's still there. Your inner child is very much alive right here, right now, as you hear my voice. And you need to have some internal dialogue to connect. And it's one of the things that I really like to lead and guide people through, that I coach one-on-one. And whenever, depending on when you're watching this video, on Sundays at 10 Mountain Standard Time, AM, I'm going to be doing lives on a regular basis. And in that, we will do some breath work and some guided visualization. And that visualization is to help connect you with your inner child. This inner being inside of us is usually pretty afraid, pretty scared, pretty intimidated, and feeling unheard and definitely unseen. Because guess what? You became an adult and it's time to fucking cowboy up, cowgirl up, suck it up, right? Man up. And we ain't got time for that. And the problem is that until you finally realize that it is essential for you to make time for this inner child, to nurture and to love unconditionally, to show up for your inner child, to give that inner child the ability to be heard, to be seen. And it's really in that dynamic that most of your emotional instability lies. You're at conflict within yourself. And that conflict is leaving you divided against yourself. It's leaving you needing to relieve your stress with all kinds of different substances and addictions, because you can't just sit there in your feelings and realize that, man, I'm just feeling afraid today. I'm just feeling nervous today. I'm scared. I'm overwhelmed. It's really expanding your emotional vocabulary. And so if I was to drill down more on this triad of who you are, right? The inner child, the adult, right? In my own story, hopefully this relates to you. Stay tuned. So I have little Gregory, right? He dealt with all crazy shit. And you probably relate to that. 0 to 10 years old, just unbelievable stuff. How did he even survive it? I don't know. And then what happens is that my adult had to step up into the scene at about 12 years old. 12 years old, my mom starts a new family, and I wrote a story of abandonment. And again, what happened is the adult version of me started to have to emerge. And as I look back on the course of my life, my adult version was very immature. I lacked real depth to my maturity as a man, masculine depth of maturity. I could, especially if I was triggered in relationships, man, I would act so fucking immature and be so embarrassed by it after. But it was all as a means of protecting. So my adult G-Dog was very overprotective of Gregory. If Gregory was feeling like, a lover was about to abandon, he would G-Dog would bust in and freak the fuck out. Like, this is how we play our situations, because when it came to intimate relationships, Gregory, little guy, is looking for the woman to be mommy. He was always looking to re-find a woman capable of nurturing him in a way that his mother had stopped. And anytime a woman literally pushed away or gave signals that she was gonna abandon him, G-Dog would obviously overreact and make situations even worse. And so it's crazy when we have to deconstruct and pull back and reflect on these interpersonal dynamics. And there's a reason why I haven't even talked about the parent, Greg, who you're hearing right now, Super Dad. The reason why Greg wasn't really ever on the scene is because I never had a positive male role model. I never really had a stable parental human in my life. So I literally went from being a wounded child to an immature adult. And between those two, we made a big mess out of our life for most of the life, right? Multiple DWIs, multiple rock bottom moments, highs and lows and lows. And, and it wasn't until this recent 12-year experience of getting sober, releasing the vices, asking for help, going to therapy, doing the self-development, the self-discovery work, trying to learn more about what makes me tick, that I finally discovered that this was the internal conflict that I was experiencing, right? There was animosity between the inner child feeling scared and then G-Dog coming in to to save the day and overdoing it, pushing people away that, would leave us feeling alone, feeling unloved, feeling unworthy, feeling like a failure. And what has transformed recently, once I finally came to this conclusion, is that this is all the conflict that's going on inside of me, is through therapy and through self-discovery, I have now been able to develop my parent role, super dad. To be able, the parent is sort of an in between those two, but it's the mature, healed, masculine, divine presence that you're hearing right now. A man that is able to communicate, use words versus just triggered action. It's to see a situation and say, what's really going on here? What words can I use to express that I'm feeling unloved, or I'm feeling stressed out and I need some space, or, I have a need, and what can I do to have that need met if someone else is involved? And so it really came through therapy that I was able to really develop this. And I'm continuing to self-master this piece. But I know that this is what is causing so many people to feel so insecure, to feel so overwhelmed about life, is that you have this internal conflict going on. And the true self-mastery is developing this parent, the parent version of yourself, that parent, that super parent, mom or dad, to show up for the inner child and to give that inner child space to be seen, to be heard, and even the adult. The adult version needs to feel seen and heard and loved and respected, valued, appreciated. When was the last time you just appreciated yourself? You've survived a lot. Think about it. Think about everything that you've survived. Your life hasn't been easy. I know if you're hearing this message that you've had a challenging life. And I do believe that makes you a pretty special person. You may not feel that though, because your circumstances aren't showing all of this abundance or success or prosperity or freedom or happiness or love or joy. You're allowing for this instability and this conflict within you to trigger your needing to relieve that pain. And you've been doing it in a way that doesn't build you up. And I'm here to help you. I care about you. I love you. And I really, really, really want to encourage you to consider downloading the app, Results Kill Excuses. Type it into your app store right now on your phone. And in there are 25 lessons packed into 5 self-discovery courses. And the content is challenging, but it is fun. You have to print out the worksheets for each and every day. There's a video to watch or listen to. And this is not kid glove stuff. This is challenging stuff. If you're someone that's battling any addiction, fill in the blank, any kind of addiction, something that has control over you, that you want to reevaluate your relationship with, there's a course in there. It's called Breaking Up With My Addictions. And if you have more than one addiction, which most of us do, right, you can do that course literally several times and make declarations to yourself. But again, you have to want it. You have to want something more than what you got right now. And you got to realize that you're not helpless. You may feel hopeless, but I am here to speak life into you that if I can do it, you can do it, and together we can do even more. You don't have to do it alone. I felt like I was doing it alone for so many years. And yet I have found a way, and this is my way of giving back. This is me fulfilling my purpose and my calling on this planet. It's to give back, to teach, to edify, to inspire, to mentor, to coach. And so I think it is important that you invest in yourself. And if you're not investing in yourself, you need to realize that that's the number one investment. And so I am someone that preaches, right? Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, financial health, all of those things in alignment is what's going to help you to improve your relationship with yourself. But at least if you're so overwhelmed, you're feeling so stressed, you just don't know which way to go, at the very least, you can stop what you're doing, kick off your shoes and socks, do some sunbathing, ground yourself, do some breath work, give yourself some positive affirmations, maybe have a frequency in there. 528 is powerful stuff. Search for some 528 frequencies. It's not easy to listen to. It's a healing frequency. And again, you have to want this. You have to want this experience. You have to want to be able to become the best version of yourself. And that can be right here, right now. There's not a process. There's not a, hey, I need to do these 10 steps and then I'll be the best version of myself. No, it's a mindset. It's a mindset of looking at the past and saying all this stuff that I've experienced is not the best. And all this uncertainty about the future isn't the best. Again, uncertainty. It's being in this present moment, realizing that you are by divine birthright. Do you hear this? By divine birthright, you are given the biggest blessings on this earth right here, right now. You can receive it. You can shift that mindset. And it's not just a feeling. It is a feeling, but it's having an understanding that you are a spiritual, eternal being having a human experience. And because of the veil, because of the generational trauma, right? We get so weighed down by the physical world. And there is importance to this physical world, but there is greater importance to the spiritual world. And that is ultimately what I am trying to guide and lead you towards, is to becoming more spiritually minded and allowing the physical to fade away. We are so deceived by the physical realm right now. The politics, the games, the sports, the spectacles, right? When it's just like everything you need is right inside of you. It's in the spirit of who you are, in your soul. That's the inward journey. And if you want to feel more safe and secure, you want to wake up feeling better with yourself, start having conversations and nurturing that inner child. It's there. And if you're looking for an opportunity to join me for a guided inner child visualization exercise, we'll do it Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I would welcome you to join us on the live stream. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much to everybody that's interacting. There's a lot of interactions happening here. And I continue to just feel grateful that the content is allowing people to respond and to feel safe to respond. And that's really my heart, is to create a community of like-minded people that feel safe to be heard, to be understood, to be seen, and to express their true feelings without fear of retaliation, because man, that retaliation happens within our interpersonal connections. I've experienced it time and time and time again. I continue to speak my truth. I continue to try and become a better communicator each and every day. That's a big thing for me, is how to better communicate. And I just am grateful for the communications, the comments coming in. Share them, share this message if it's resonating with you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like this message, and I hope to see you on the next one. I love you guys, you know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.